Most people think control comes from power, status, or influence. But in reality, control in everyday interactions is much simpler than that. It comes from emotional reaction. The person who reacts the most loses the most control, and the person who stays steady quietly takes it. Watch what happens in a normal situation. Someone says something slightly disrespectful. Instantly, the other person's tone changes. Their body tightens. They rush to respond, defend, or prove something. In that moment, the outcome is already decided, because now their behavior is no longer chosen, it's triggered. And once someone can trigger you, they don't need to control you directly. They just need to repeat the pattern, say the right thing, push the right button, get the same reaction. That's how most people lose control without even realizing it. Not because they're weak, but because they're reactive. Now imagine someone who doesn't respond like that. Someone who hears the same comment and stays relaxed. Someone who notices the tension and doesn't absorb it. Someone who could react, but chooses not to. That's what being unbothered actually means. It's not pretending nothing affects you. It's not suppressing emotion. It's having enough control that you don't automatically hand your reaction to the situation. And when someone operates like that, something unusual happens. The pattern breaks. The person who expected a reaction doesn't get it. The person who expected tension meets calm, and suddenly, they're the one adjusting. Because most interactions are based on emotional exchange. One person pushes, the other reacts. One person teases, the other responds. Like one person creates pressure, the other absorbs it. But when you don't absorb it, it has nowhere to go, and that creates discomfort. Not for you, for them. They start wondering if their approach worked. They start questioning their tone. They start looking for a reaction that isn't coming. And that uncertainty begins to shift control. Because now, instead of you reacting to them, they're reacting to you. That's why being unbothered is powerful. It removes the easiest way people influence you. It forces interactions to operate on your terms. And the more consistent you are with it, the more people realize something important. You're not easy to move. To actually become unbothered, you have to understand what's happening beneath your reactions. Most people think they react because of what someone said or did. But that's not the full picture. They react because of what it means to them. A simple comment isn't just a comment. It feels like disrespect. A delayed reply isn't just a delay. It feels like rejection. A disagreement isn't just a difference. It feels like a challenge to identity. And the moment meaning gets attached, emotion follows instantly. That's why reactions feel automatic. Because they are. Your brain is trying to protect your image, your status, your sense of self, so it pushes you to respond quickly, to correct, to defend, to prove. But here's the shift. Unbothered people don't rush to assign meaning. They pause. They observe. They let things exist without immediately labeling them as good or bad, right or wrong, personal or intentional. And that pause is everything, because when you delay meaning, you delay emotion. And when you delay emotion, you stay in control. Another key layer is detachment, not emotional numbness. Detachment from outcomes. Most people are attached to how things should go. They expect respect. They expect quick replies. They expect agreement. And when those expectations aren't met, they react. But someone who is unbothered doesn't rely on those expectations. They understand that people act based on their own mindset, not yours. Someone's tone reflects them. Someone's behavior reflects them. Someone's reaction reflects them, not you. And once you truly understand that, you stop taking everything personally. You stop internalizing every small shift in behavior, and your reactions naturally slow down. Now here's where it starts affecting other people. When someone tries to provoke you and nothing happens, they feel it. When someone expects you to chase and you don't, they notice it. When someone creates tension and you stay steady, it creates imbalance. Because now they are the only one reacting. And that imbalance creates pressure. They start questioning themselves. They start adjusting their behavior. They start becoming more aware of how they're coming across. Not because you force them to, but because your calm removed the usual feedback they rely on. This is the part most people miss. You don't gain control by dominating. You gain control by not being controlled. And the moment people realize they can't easily influence your emotions, they start losing their grip on the interaction. The final level of being unbothered is when it becomes your default, not something you have to consciously maintain. At the beginning, it takes effort. You catch yourself before reacting. You remind yourself to pause. You hold back responses that would normally come out instantly, but over time, something changes. You stop feeling the urgency to react at all. The need to respond immediately disappears. The need to correct every misunderstanding fades. The need to prove something isn't there anymore. And that's when your presence shifts completely. Because now, it's not just about controlling reactions. It's about not being pulled in the first place. You don't feel every small comment as a threat. You don't interpret every silence as rejection. You don't treat every disagreement as something you need to win. You remain steady. And that steadiness creates a very specific kind of energy. People start to feel like they can't move you. Or they try subtle things, tone shifts, small remarks, indirect pressure, but nothing really lands the way they expect. And that's when control starts slipping from them. Because control depends on predictability. If someone knows how you'll react, they can guide the interaction. They can push, pull, and adjust based on your responses. But when your reactions aren't predictable, that system breaks. Now they don't know what will affect you. They don't know what will get a response. They don't know how to read the situation clearly. And that uncertainty creates pressure. They start watching you more closely. They start thinking more about what they say. They start adjusting their behavior without even realizing it. Not because you demanded anything, but because your stability forces them to adapt. Here's the deeper truth. Being unbothered isn't about acting like you don't care. It's about knowing what actually deserves your energy. Most things don't. Most comments don't matter. Most opinions don't define you. Most situations don't require a reaction. And once you truly understand that, your energy becomes selective. You respond when it's meaningful. You stay silent when it's not. You engage when it aligns. You walk away when it doesn't. That level of control is rare, because most people are still reacting to everything, still chasing clarity, still trying to manage how they're perceived. But when you step out of that cycle, your presence becomes different, calm, stable, unmoved. And that's what shifts everything. Because the moment people realize they can't easily trigger you, they lose the simplest way to control you. And when that control disappears, the entire dynamic changes. Not loudly, not aggressively, but completely.